Hey, what's going on, dudes, and welcome back to episode 4 of Fireside Chat. Here I am joined with two of my co-hosts. Noah, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty good. How y'all be out there?
I'm not doing bad. Anyway, Adam, how's it going?
Yo, I don't know.
Uh,
Looking at this thing here that you told me to research.
yeah, we're all doing that. Anyway, so today's topic is we are going to be looking through Reddit. Am I the asshole? So pretty much we're just going to go through different topics and we're going to be going over those. So here I found our first one. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my husband eat from my plate at the restaurant? My husband and I have totally different tastes when it comes to food. That's perfectly fine. However, lately, and whenever we go out to a restaurant, we both order different dishes. Then he'd suddenly ask to eat from my dish, and would throw a fit if I refuse. He's done this several times, and I snapped and told him to stop asking and ordering for the same dish if he wanted it so bad. Last night, we went out for dinner and ordered different dishes. Before we made the order, I asked if he was sure about the dish he picked, and he said yes. The food arrived, and each of us had our plate and started eating. Literally minutes later, he asked if he could eat from my dish. I looked at him, "Are you serious right now?" And he went on about how he couldn't rest the looks of the dish and really, really, really wanted to try it. I refused and said no. I kept eating, and he kept pushing till I blew up, and he got quiet all of a sudden. He then got up and walked out. He was furious with me and picked an argument at home when I got back. He said that I acted petty and that all he asked for was a few bites from my meal, and I chose to make a scene and yell and embarrass him instead. We're not speaking to each other right now because of what happened. I feel shitty about it, and I think that I could have let him have some of the food instead of choosing to die on a silly hill. So, what do you guys think about that one? Is she the asshole for this?
I mean, I can see it either way, but in my head, I'm thinking this would not be a post, or this post would be viewed completely differently if a man wrote this post complaining about his girlfriend stealing food off his plate, because that's such a
Yeah.
stereotype, and I feel like nobody would make an issue about it. So I personally feel like she's kind of in the wrong there. Unless she's never asked for food off his plate before, I'm gonna say she's in the wrong because there's no reason to freak out in the store, or sorry, in the restaurant. It, Arguing in the restaurant is kind of crazy.
Yeah. So you're saying she's in the wrong?
I I think so. I think I am.
I'm gonna have
Because
to. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. I think she's in the right for that. Maybe not for the exploding up on the husband, but I think she's definitely in the right for being upset over him taking food off her plate. Because I mean, I wouldn't want somebody to take food off my plate. I don't give a shit who they are. I'm not letting them take food off my plate unless I offer it to them. That's just kind
I
of my
mean,
thought process.
I can understand that, but also at the same time, like that's his wife. That's her husband. I, I mean, yeah, you're right, and I probably wouldn't let anybody take my food either, if I'm being honest. But like, I don't know. I could change my answer to both are the asshole, but I definitely think she's at bare minimum wrong for freaking out in the restaurant.
I think that's a fairest, I don't know, evaluation.
Okay, but the main question for this is, or the title of this is like, is she the asshole for refusing to let my husband eat from my plate at the restaurant?
Oh, well then for how it's formatted,
Yeah,
no, no, she's not. She's
yeah,
not. Okay.
yeah. So that's what
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go off. I don't think she's the asshole for that. I don't think, in my opinion at least, that you're the asshole for not refusing for someone to take food off your plate. I mean, you know, so
Yeah.
anyway, which one of you guys is up next?
I'm still
Yeah,
looking
you
for
can go.
something.
Oh, so okay. I guess I will take this one. This one's a pretty like funny one, I guess. I don't know. It just has a lot of reviews. Well, upvotes.
Hmm.
Am I the asshole for waking my husband up to drive me to pick up my car when I left my keys in my locker at work? A couple of weeks ago, I accidentally left my car keys in my uniform pants at work and left my pants in my locker. I don't wear my uniform home for multiple reasons. I just bring it home to wash. I have two uniforms. I realized when I got to the subway station where I'd parked that I'd left my keys back at work. A half-hour train ride and no guarantee I'd be able to get back in the building. It was after midnight. I called my husband to ask him to bring me the spare key 22 times. I tried my son, but he was asleep. He's 19 and has a car, and didn't wake up when I called a second time. And I tried a friend. I didn't want to call too many people because, again, it was after midnight. I kept calling my husband, hoping eventually he'd hear his phone. I wound up taking an Uber home. I needed to get my car because they ticket after 2 a.m. usually. So when I get home, and I was pretty upset that I'd called 22 times and he hadn't answered, I continued trying to call him the whole way home in the Uber. This thing is like not formatted well at all. I'm like on
Hmm.
the struggle bus trying to read this. Anyway, when I got home, I went inside up to the bedroom and woke him up. I was pissed that had this been a serious emergency, okay, I wouldn't have been able to get through to him. He kept saying he had my number in his favorites so that if I called him twice, the second time it would go through. But he had the phone on silent and then put it on top of something soft so he didn't hear it vibrating. He complained that I was mad at him for something I did. I replied that no, I was mad at me for forgetting my keys. That was 100% on me. I was mad at him, in all caps, for not having his phone on and that he's unreliable in an emergency, which thankfully this wasn't a huge one. So am I the asshole for waking him up and being pissed that I couldn't reach him in what wasn't a big emergency, but what if it had been?
Hmm. Well, that's a good question.
So
So
I'm gonna
they're
give
they're a couple, right?
yeah, husband and wife. Well, husband and spouse. They don't ever specify their gender,
Okay.
but they say son, so I'm assuming husband and wife.
Okay. To be honest, I don't think she's the asshole in this one. I mean, it seems
Really?
pretty. It seems, in my kind of idea, is let's throw out a hypothetical out there. Say your mom tries to get a hold of you, and it's not necessarily an emergency, but what if it had been and she can't reach you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she's going to be mad? Well, obviously she's going to be mad if you don't pick up her phone. And I mean, I don't necessarily see the difference between it. If you're like, in this way, you're married, you know, those are kind of things you might want to pick up on, you know. So I don't think she's the asshole for this, for being mad at him for not being reliable and answering the phone. I mean, I can see myself being kind of upset if, you know, they don't answer. So I'm just saying.
See, I understand where you're coming from, but I think I'm gonna have to disagree with you because I think she is the asshole in the sense that the question is like if we go off the question, which is, am I the asshole for waking my husband up to drive me to pick up my car when I left my keys in my locker at work? That I wouldn't say she's the asshole for. Like calling your husband to do that is pretty understandable. But the question and the story she tells doesn't even line up at all. But her last statement is, so am I the asshole for waking him up and being pissed that I couldn't reach him? Off of that, I'm gonna have to say that she kind of is, because if it was after midnight, granted, I would assume the person I'm with I would answer for, but if I'm asleep, there's not much you can do about being asleep because, like, you can't be too mad. And she tried to call her son, and he didn't pick up. So are you going to be just as mad as at the son too? I personally would say that she is the asshole just because it it's not entirely his fault for being unreachable, because it's not like he was doing something else and was purposely ignoring her. He
Hmm.
was asleep. That's how I feel. What about you, Adam?
I'll be real. I didn't hear some of the story because I was trying to find a good one for my turn. But I'm gonna have to agree that if it's in the middle of the night and she's trying to call her husband and reach him and he's asleep, she shouldn't be mad when he doesn't like wake up to the phone that's wherever. You know, especially if this phone was on silent. I don't remember the detail, but like, there's no way I'd be waking up to that. So you can't be mad at someone for not waking up if you call that at an unreasonable time, even if they are someone close to you. So if she blows up on him, she's gonna be an asshole for that.
All right. In that case, Adam, do you have you found one yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Or
found one that's good enough. It's not real long though, but I think it's an
All right.
interesting one. So, am I the asshole for refusing to give my girlfriend a ring when I proposed? Now, listen to this. It's not as bad as you think. I have been dating my girlfriend for 3 years. She's a great woman, and I know she is the one, so I recently proposed. I bought her a beautiful diamond ring that she had admired several times. But when I proposed, she took up one look at the ring and asked me where the real ring is. I asked her what she meant by that, and she said, "Your mom's ring." My mom passed away just before I met my girlfriend. She was cremated, and I had her ashes turned into a diamond and placed the diamond on my mom's wedding ring that had lost its diamond. The ring has no financial value, but it means everything to me. Turns out that is the ring she expected me to propose with. Her rationale is that giving her the most important item to me is the ultimate show of commitment, and refusing to give it to her means that I am not fully into the marriage. She said she can't accept my proposal unless it is with that ring. I honestly can't part with it, but my friends think if she means as much as I say she does, and I intend to spend the rest of my life with her, what's the big deal? The ring will stay around me anyway. Am I the asshole?
oh, oh,
Yeah, I thought this one was interesting.
No, I think I'm gonna stick with my guns on this. About what I've been going for about the whole thing. I don't think he's the asshole. I'm gonna
you
be.
know what? Yeah, I don't even know why I'm thinking about it so hard. I'm with Elijah. Nah, fuck her, bro. Ass
Yeah,
shit. The fuck?
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. But I saw the title and I was like, this is ridiculous. How could you not give your
No,
girl a ring when you're proposing? And
that's what
then
I
like,
thought. But then he said he got her a ring that she
yeah,
clearly had
admired
interest
several
in,
times. Yeah,
and then you know what? She didn't want it. It's like, what do you?
yeah.
Because she wanted a different ring. That's
Hmm.
narcissistic. That's being an asshole. She's the asshole
Yeah,
in this story.
yeah.
And not even just any other ring. It was, I want the thing you value the most in your life to become essentially her property. Like, and
Mhm.
I can understand the argument his friends were making about, if you really care about this girl, she's gonna wear the ring and she's gonna be around you. So it's not like you're losing it essentially. But I don't give a damn. I don't care. That was
Yeah, it
No.
me.
could be hard to part with your mother's
Yeah.
ashes, even if supposedly it'll be around you. It's like, you have to essentially give it up. That's what it is to
Mhm.
propose. You're
But
giving up the diamond ring for,
but what if she loses the ring?
yeah,
Then it's
exactly.
gone. That's gone.
I I'd kill her. Okay, that's not true. Pause. Pause on that. Pause on that. I would not kill my wife, but I would certainly be very upset about my wife losing essentially my mother. Like that
Yeah.
would be like you can't play about that. I just wouldn't risk it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is also my thought, is if you have, like, a mother you clearly care for, and I mean, in, some situations, that's not what happens. But say you, like, really care for your mom, and, like, she's, like, one of the most important people to you, I think she, like, your mother is, like, the most important woman you could ever have. Is gonna be your mother. Not some bimbo you picked up off the street. Like, I don't give a shit about her. She could be second. It's gonna be mother's always first, in my opinion. Mother's always first.
Mm.
So that's just my thought. Mother's always first. She's second. So. And plus, it's your fucking choice. Like I'm giving you if I'm giving you a ring, it's the ring I give you. Don't expect a different ring. So.
Yeah, that's sheesh.
I think
I'm gonna be
she's
real with
just
y'all.
being over the top on that.
Yeah. Would you guys, if you turned your mother into a ring, which is a weird sentence to say out loud now that I think about it, would you guys be willing to part with that?
No, I would not.
Probably not.
I
No,
would
I would say
not.
no.
If anything, what I would do is put it on a necklace and wear it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then that way she's always with you. Boom. Fix.
How much does it cost to turn somebody's ashes into a diamond? That can't be cheap.
I'm gonna look it up.
I'm not really sure. Give me 5 seconds. I need to put the sweatshirt on.
Yeah, when Adam first read that, I thought he was just gonna tell me a story of she didn't like how cheap the ring was. She wanted a more expensive one. But now I'm confused. If she was eyeing a ring the whole time, why is she mad that he got her the ring that she was looking at? That just doesn't add up.
Oh, okay. On this website, it says cremation jewelry can generally cost as low as $27. Because I mean, it's not real diamonds. It's not real diamonds.
I mean, I get. Okay.
What diamond costs $27?
How much does it? Okay, the price of cremation diamonds varies depending on the size and quality of the diamond, but can vary widely. So this one I saw was $27, and it says with some of the cheapest cremation diamonds starting at around $7.95. Okay, never mind, it's more expensive. Some of the most expensive being upwards of $20,000, since turning ashes into diamonds is a lengthy and expensive process. It may be difficult to afford for many people, but let's be honest. How much do rings normally cost? They cost normally around $5,000.
Several thousand. Yeah.
So I mean, but here you also have to add into the account. Okay, now you're cremating someone, and you're turning it into diamonds. That's gonna be about the same amount of cost as buying a casket, having a normal funeral.
Yeah.
So that's just how much it costs. I'm not trying to find a way to do that, but that doesn't seem like that bad of a thing, bad an idea.
$7.95. Imagine dying and your body is not worth the price of a Baconator. That I could not handle that.
Noah, you know what I'm gonna do? Noah, just to say a big F you if you die, if you die, and I get your ashes, I'm gonna turn yours into a ring.
Oh my God.
No, sir. No, sir. I will haunt your ass. Nah, but for $7.95, bro, what am I? A slightly expensive silly bracelet? It's what?
Hey, it means a lot. You being dead means a lot to me.
Okay, so I'm gonna read the next one unless you have.
I mean, I have one, but go ahead.
Okay. The title threw me. I haven't even read any of it yet. Am I the asshole for telling my mom she should expect to die alone?
Oh, I was gonna pick that one, but
holy shit! Oh my God!
Sorry.
Go ahead, read that one. That one's awesome.
Yeah.
I do apologize for the bad grammar, as English isn't my first language. Okay. For some context, my mother always adored children and dreamed of having a giant family. Her firstborn was my oldest brother, and wait, what? Her firstborn was my oldest brother when she being the mother was only 16. And since she's gone out of her way to have 13 other kids, we're
God
all
damn.
ranging
Her,
from
her pussy might
38.
be like a fucking cave. Jesus Christ.
Look, bruh, drive through. It's a drive through at this point.
It's a goddamn
From,
drive-through. The next baby's gonna come
from
out with a fucking Burger King order.
from ranging from 38 years old to 11 months old. The problem is that my mom can't seem to care enough to build a relationship with us after we hit our peak of cuteness, i.e., around the time we start learning to talk and walk. My problem with that is she just shoved the kids to the older ones. Her last two pregnancies, she was putting the baby in her and herself in danger, as she had finally hit her 50s. When we finally told her that she should really cool it with the baby making, she simply got mad and ignored us. Now the incident that caused the post, she's 19. The person telling us the story is a 19-year-old female. Her older brother and his partner had a very small celebration for their 5-year anniversary, in which the mom and the stepdad were invited. We noticed my mom had grown her stomach out a little and had kept her hand in on it the entire night. It wasn't until my sister-in-law announced that she was pregnant we all congratulated her, but my mom cheered and said, "At least your new baby sister will have someone to play with." Baby sister? We hadn't had a female in the family in 15 years, so we all looked at her confused until it all clicked. She was also pregnant. However, since our response wasn't one of ultimate joy like the one we had only a minute ago, my stepdad got mad and scolded us for not supporting nor celebrating our mother for her pregnancy. I simply told him that there was nothing to celebrate my mom on, as she was only bringing another poor child who needs won't properly be met if it even lives. Damn. My oh my god. My siblings just stayed quiet. My mom and I argued, her constantly bringing the fact that I was in a WLW, lesbian relationship,
Oh.
and was completely infertile. This I didn't understand and that I did. Jesus, I know she said English was not her first language, but good lord, she fucked up this paragraph. I didn't understand the love between a mother and their child. I told her that she didn't either, since her love for us seemed to expire only after a year. She then said something that set me off the edge. "Well, at least I'll know my funeral will be filled with all of the amazing kids I loved, while yours will be empty." Wow.
Damn. That's a loaded question. Holy hell.
I snapped back. "Maybe if you were an actual mother, then we would go, but the way you've treated us, I think you should forget about us being there, since we'll be celebrating our freedom while you die all alone, all because you never bothered to care about us."
Oh, I don't want to get into that one. That's a lot.
My mom just muttered an apology as she turned around to leave. My stepdad quickly followed after her. The rest of the night was more tame and seemed a little awkward. It wasn't until the next day where I was sent at least 100 texts saying how much of an asshole I am for making my mom cry. But I honestly feel as though my anger is justified. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Can I answer first? Do y'all care?
Go for it.
I think all these motherfuckers are assholes. Y'all, they were because by all I mean the mom, the stepdad, and the 19-year-old who wrote this. Cause the mom not even the stepdad really. He was just saying like, why don't you celebrate the fact that your mom's pregnant? Like you have a new sibling. But they're from age 38 to 11 months old is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't think they need to celebrate after having, what, 13 kids? This being the 14th?
Yeah, I think
Why do
this
they
would be
need?
the 14th.
Okay, cool. You're having your 14th child. Who the fuck cares?
Like,
You had
bruh,
over. God damn.
you have like a whole outfield with players like on standby for baseball. Like
God.
you like calm down. Freaking but yeah, I think her and her mom are both assholes cuz as a mother, I mean
Mhm.
granted, I'm not a parent and I'm certainly not going to be a mother. But
I mean, you
can't
know.
I can't shut up, Elijah. I can't I can't imagine my mom or anybody's mom saying you're gonna die alone
Yeah, no, that's.
and the rest of us but everyone's gonna care about me. So honest, now that I think about it, I could almost side with the mom being the only asshole, because if my mom would ever say that to me, I could imagine saying something that's rude right back, but that doesn't justify it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to say everyone's an asshole in that situation,
No,
being the mom and her.
you know what? Since I don't really have a question, I couldn't really back any of them. So I'm gonna go with they're all assholes as well. I'm gonna agree with you on that one.
Mm.
They're all assholes.
Yeah, I think they're all in the wrong. On that one. It's not how you should behave with your family.
Mm-hmm. Damn. All right. Well, moving on from that bombshell of a story.
That was the title alone set that one off.
Yeah, I read that title. I was gonna do it, but I was like, oh, this is long and broken English.
No, that was a good story. That was probably the best so far. All right. Well, I got another story. It might not be the best one, but I got another one. Am I the asshole for wearing a white dress to my sister's wedding? I, 28, was invited to my sister's 32 wedding on October 4th, 2022. Holy shit, that was actually 10 days ago. For months, my sister planned for her wedding, and about 4 months before the wedding, she let us know her maid of honor, bridesmaids, all other things to do with guest roles, etc. Well, I was one of her bridesmaids. My sister didn't want to buy all the bridesmaids' dresses, as she wanted us to contrast and feel comfortable in our dresses. But one thing she let us know was that the bridesmaids were to wear white dresses. A few weeks later, I went bridesmaid dress shopping. I really care about my sister, so I put a lot of thought and time into choosing my dress, hoping it would be okay for her wedding. I found this beautiful lace corset, long white dress. The dress was expensive, around 1,500 euros. I don't know how that is because fuck the Europeans, I'm American. And the boutique, and had a no return policy unless the dress was broken or ripped, meaning once I had bought it, I couldn't return it. So I decided to be a smart person and have my sister come around to the boutique to see me in the dress the next day. My sister was overjoyed. She exclaimed she loved the dress and it was perfect for her wedding. She insisted that I should buy it, so I bought it for 1,500 euros. I was the first bridesmaids to get their dress. All of my sister's friends seemed almost a little too laid back. A week before the wedding comes, and I wake up to texts and calls from my sister, friends, and family. Most of the ones from friends and family, but they misspelled it, and it looked like famlet. Or letting me know my sister had to talk. Oh, I opened my sister's text and see, change of plans. I do not want bridesmaids wearing white. White is for the bride, and all the other bridesmaids are now wearing teal. Please buy another dress. Thanks, XX. My heart literally sank. I did not have any money to buy another dress after the money I spent on that dress. I let my sister and family know this and attended the wedding, but everyone was giving me dirty looks and stares, especially the groom. My sister was infuriated with me afterwards, and my entire family is ignoring me. So am I the asshole?
I mean, they said wear white.
They did. And I mean, but here's the thing. Don't you know, like, the basic saying that you should never wear white to a wedding?
Yeah.
I mean, even... I understand that she said that. But, like, normally you never wear white to a wedding. But why didn't she, like, tell the sister? It doesn't say anything about this that she asked the sister, said, "Hey, I can't return this dress, and I can't afford another dress."
I I don't. I feel like there needs to be like an extra option where it's just like just communicate. Nobody has to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Hmm.
In this situation, well, here's like there's a couple of questions that I think should be answered in this. Like, does the sister understand that the dress cannot be returned?
Mm, mm, mm. I think because the bride, like, I don't want to blame the bride too much because she said for her wedding she wanted the bridesmaids to wear white. But it's also like you have to understand. I don't know.
No. Well, see, in one of these comments, they go back to the saying, you never wear white thing, but says the bride specifically requested it. So, you
Yeah,
know,
because that
that does
doesn't
bring up
matter.
a good like question. Like, she specifically asked to wear white, and I don't know how expensive 1,500 euros in American. I'm gonna look it up. Euro
But yeah,
to U.S. dollar. Okay, so it was 1,500 euro. Like, that's $1,500 right there.
ooh, fifteen
So
hundred
a
dollars.
euro and a U.S. dollar about the same. Yeah, that's like
Ah,
$1,500.
ooh,
That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. So
yeah.
honestly, I think the sister might be the asshole in this story. I think I'm gonna go with my gut feeling and say sister's an asshole, especially if she said to wear white and then changed it. But I mean, there is a lack of communication between that.
Because you said, ooh, that I'd be mad. I think I am gonna have to say the bride as well. I assume when you said sister, you meant the bride.
Yeah, I met the bride.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you because
Yeah.
changing like that after people would have already made that call.
hmm
Yeah,
Adam, what do you think?
Kind of just it agrees with what you guys have said. I'm trying
Mhm.
to find another good one, but I haven't.
Yeah.
So
Does anybody else have a next one?
Adam, that's you.
I could just pick one, but I was trying to find a
Read
good one.
read 1-3 from where you're at right now.
That sounds really lame. So, all right, whatever. I'll pick this one. Oh my god, this one's so long though. Whatever. Am I the asshole for kicking out my roommate's friend? Last night, he's a 22-year-old male, was walking my dog, Romeo, when I got a call from my roommate, who's a 21-year-old male, telling me he was inviting some friends over. Fine with me. He called first to warn me, and I used to work with two of those friends at one point. Those two will be called Brian and Zach. He also invited another guy named Cedric, and his girlfriend came along. After t- First time meeting Cedric, but saw him a few times at parties and didn't care for him. Long story, not relevant. Romeo is a big dog, but can sometimes be scared around men. When I arrived at the door, Romeo immediately barked at the sight of Zach, Brian, and Cedric. Then Cedric made the first comment that rubbed me wrong. He asked, "Yo, what's wrong with your dog? Why is he being a bitch?" I looked at him kind of surprised. He called my dog a bitch, especially when I didn't even introduce myself yet. During the event, Romeo was going around trying to get everyone's attention. Usual, except he was avoiding Cedric. Very unusual. A little later in the evening, we were smoking on my balcony, sitting in a circle, passing it around, with the dog outside the circle just doing his doggy things. I hear the sound of a lighter flicking and I look towards Cedric sitting opposite me. He has his left hand outside the circle and my dog right by his hand, trying to smell him. I stood up and asked if he just ignited the lighter in my dog's face. He started saying things like, "Chill out, man. It wasn't even touching him. Trust me, bro. I've had dogs for years." He's a big boy. He can take it. Each time I answered something like, yeah, but no, still don't fucking do that, just no. I continued denying excuses he had because it didn't matter to me, but it got a little awkward around the balcony. I get that my dog is big and barked at him in the beginning, but still, use some common sense. A flame near a dog full of fur is never a good idea. To calm me down, Andy said something along the lines of, we all do stupid shit when we're high. And I really disagreed with that. I told Andy, we both smoke regularly. When did we ever do shit to Romeo? Because we're not fucking morons. Calling him a moron was out of line, but he stood up with a ready to fight sort of stance. I told Cedric to get out immediately. He started arguing, but when I went to wake up his girlfriend and told them both to get out of my home, Cedric got out, whining that it was unfair, and Zach and Brian stayed a little bit. I immediately told Andy that I don't want him to ever come back here again, that he acted like an idiot, and that weed does not excuse bad behavior with animals. Andy agreed that Cedric did something stupid with the lighter, but thought I overreacted by kicking him out and calling him a moron. Zach has a pet too, and he agreed with me, saying that if anybody did this to his cat, he would have lost it. Brian didn't voice his opinion. I shouldn't have insulted him, it's not in my nature, but he crossed the line with my dog, and I took it personally. Romeo is my only responsibility, and I can't tolerate anything negative done to my pet. So am I the asshole for kicking Cedric out?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. If somebody put a lighter to my dog's face, I'd probably kick them out too. I can't. I I'm with the writer of this.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna,
agree
I'm
with
gonna,
that.
I agree. That guy's an asshole. You don't fuck with like somebody else's dog like that.
You know, because like the fur could be flammable and end up like brutalizing the dog before it dies from being burnt to death. Like, there's no reason to do that, even if you're high. Like, I
Yeah,
don't. I've been around a couple high people, and no one acts like that when they're high. So
yeah.
I,
That one's an easy cut and dry case. Like he's definitely
yeah,
not an asshole. I mean, considering it's his place, he has the right to do
yeah.
that. So, yeah. All right. Noah, you got one, or I got one if you don't. So
No, I don't mind going.
go for it then.
Am All right. Am I the asshole for stealing my sister's baby name? My wife is currently 8 months pregnant, and we are very excited. We will be having a boy. My sister Mia just broke up with her now ex-fiance 1 month ago. In the past, she claimed dibs on a certain name for her future kid. Let's say it's Jake. There's not a real significance to the name other than she likes it. Anyway, so my wife and I were thinking of boy names, and my wife also has always loved Jake as a name for a boy. So much that it's the front runner for her. We have a two yes, one no rule. The fuck? For names, and there's been a lot of potential ones that one of us didn't love, so we had to rule out.
Oh, I get
Jake
it.
is fine to me.
It means like
I
two names that they decide and one name that they don't want. I'm guessing.
okay, maybe that might make
Like a
sense. I'm
veto
not
name.
sure.
Like a veto name.
Oh, okay. It wouldn't have been my first choice, but I do like it, and it's nice to have some alignment between us. I told my mother when she was over at our house, and she said something about how Mia always wanted that name too. I said, yeah, I know, but my wife loves it as well, and we are actually having a kid very soon where Mia is single, and she said she's swearing off dating for a while, which I totally understand after having an engagement fall through. So who knows if she'll even have kids, also if they'll even be a boy if she does, and that her future partner would also be on board with that name. Well, at some point my mom tells me tells Mia our plans and she freaks out. She accuses me and my wife, who liked the name before she met Mia, of stealing her name and all this. I point out that it's just a name and nobody can have rights to it. She then swears she was going to use it and proceeds to call my wife bad things. I then pointed out that she's not pregnant, not dating, and there's no way to know when she'd ever even have the chance to use it herself. She says that I am shaming her for being single and being a name thief. What? She is still very, very angry. Am I the asshole here, or is she being unreasonable? Mm,
I don't see him as the asshole. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't.
I don't think there's. I don't think either of them are the asshole per se. I think they're just. I think both of them kind of. No, really, the sister needs to grow up a little bit, and I guess he's kind of like he's not being nice about it, but he's not doing anything wrong. Like he's absolutely right. You don't have rights to the name, but at the same time, you've heard your sister. You guys grew up under the same roof, probably, and you heard her always say she wanted to use that name. You're kind of a dick. Like you're a dick for doing that. Like taking the name, the one name she's always talked about. But I can also understand his argument of you don't know when you're going to use it or even if you will because you're not pregnant, you're single at that, and you don't even know if you're having a boy because you're not pregnant. So I understand. I would still say there's no asshole involved. I think both of them are kind of just being a bit childish, maybe.
Yeah, I see that. I mean,
Yeah, it's just kind
yeah.
of.
I don't think there should be dibs for names. That's kind of stupid, don't you think? Why can't they
Yeah.
both name their child Jake?
Well, that would be kind of weird.
It would, but what's stopping them?
Technically nothing.
And honestly,
But-
if we're going to go into the fact that dibs are a thing, I think dibs should be called whoever has the baby first.
That would make the most sense, seeing as that child is gonna need a name first.
Yeah, so maybe
Right.
you should have had a baby first.
Although, like, yeah, because I don't think he's done anything inherently wrong.
No.
Like, I still stand by he's kind of a douchebag. Like, the one name, and he even admitted he doesn't even really care for the name. So it's like you're
But the wife
only
does.
selecting this name because your wife kinda likes it. Like your wife kinda likes the name, and you are okay with the name, but your sister wants to use the name. That's kind of shady,
Mm-hmm.
but not wrong.
Yeah. No, I can see both directions, but I'm just gonna go with I don't think he's the asshole. Cause that was the question, right? Is he the asshole for doing that?
Yeah, is he the asshole for taking the name Jake?
No, I wouldn't say he's an asshole for that. I mean,
Nah.
I can see the point where he is an asshole, like for taking the name, even though your sister wants that name.
Mm.
But
If he went out of his way to name the child just to aggravate
Yeah.
his sister, then he'd be the asshole.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
he's just doing
definitely.
it because
Yeah.
his wife likes it and he's okay with it, and even though they had a game when they were a kid about what they're gonna name their child, like whatever, that's it. It's a game for your childhood, and it's petty to keep that. So
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with what Adam's saying. If he'd have done it out of spite, then I would definitely say he's the asshole.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life. So
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Though, if the mother decides that, well, the mother decided. So, I mean, you probably don't really have a choice.
Yeah, I feel like dads really don't get shit in that matter. Like, you don't get to choose. You just hope you get some.
I mean, we came and went, so I don't want to hear it. Like, that's kind of how dudes work.
I guess. Hey.
I mean,
we take
like,
it sometimes.
they hold the child for most of their life, We're just kind of there.
Fair enough. All right.
So,
There's mine. One of y'all can go.
I got one. This one I don't know. This one's a weird one, but it kind of pertains to us because we're in college. It's about a professor. Am I the asshole for reporting my professor?
I think I saw that one.
Did you? I'm gonna read it then.
Yeah.
There is
I think we all saw this one.
yeah, we're all scrolling through it, so I'm not surprised. There's a new professor, 29, who joined the university I attend, and she's one of the most stuck-up and difficult faculty members. I, 20, know she has a whole list of policies when it comes to classroom management, which includes a line about how no consultations will be entertained unless an appointment has been made at least one day in advance, and it has to include the questions you want her to answer. She claims it's to ensure that every session is efficient and optimized, but I just think that she's lazy since it doesn't take much to just do her job of educating. She's also not around a lot, even though classes are still held online. And every time I go to her office during office hours, she tells me she's busy and to make an appointment. It's frustrating because I'm already there, so why can't she take some time to answer my questions? Recently, I waited until the end of the day to go see her. I expected it to be a maximum of 10 to 15 minute discussion, and she told me that she was off work hours and to email her my questions. I was livid and told her that she was unprofessional as other professors did not treat her students that way. They were willing to put in more effort in their students' academic journey, something she didn't seem to care about. She asked how was her behavior unprofessional since she's only contractually obligated to work until 6 p.m., and she made her instructions abundantly clear. I told her that it's her job to help me learn, and she countered back rudely saying that learning was my responsibility and she couldn't think on my behalf. I reported her to the dean, who definitely had a talk with her since she's been even colder in class and doesn't engage with us the way she used to. She's even stricter and refuses to be flexible like she used to be, citing university policies I didn't know existed. My friends who know what I did are pissed, because despite her attitude, she really did bend the rules for them whenever they went to her for help. Is she the asshole?
Kind of a mixed box.
Huh. Huh. What was the actual question? What was the actual, heading of that? What is...
Is she the asshole, meaning the student, is she the asshole for reporting the professor?
Oh, I mean, technically... Well, I mean, if the professor is just sticking to what they say and the rules that they have set up, it doesn't mean... Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, I don't really know the question either. I don't even know my answer for this either.
I don't know. Huh.
I feel like there wasn't enough detail on the work that the
Yeah.
professor does for me to make a reasonable decision.
More context would have been better,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
But based off of the evidence we're given, what would you decide?
I don't know if I can answer it. I genuinely feel like I'm at a loss. Like I'm trying to do basically process of elimination of the 4 options, and I'm like, well, there's not there definitely at least one of them is an asshole. So that gets rid of the no assholes option, but there's still 3 options left where it's one or the other or both. You know what? No, I'm gonna just say the professor is bad. Bad professor. The professor's the asshole. I just don't feel right saying. Nah, I'm gonna stick with it.
That's for me to pick something because I don't know. I could see wanting to. I feel like requiring the email before an office hour session is kind of over the top, but I feel like it does. It could make your time with the professor more efficient. And
Yeah.
if this is like a freshman class and students not really knowing how to acclimate to college, and maybe the professor does research and is busy, and they're teaching a class of 300 people twice a day or something, then yeah, you'd want to be efficient with your time, and I could see how some of those policies could be helpful. But in the same vein, you should want to be passionate for your students. So it's kind of a mixed bag for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go the opposite route. I think I'm gonna say the student was the asshole.
Yeah, that's
That's
kind of what I
fair.
was thinking. Because like I
That's
don't
fair.
think that's report worthy.
Yeah.
Like sure, maybe you disagree with the professor, or maybe she is just a bad professor. But like I don't know if that in itself is worthy
Yeah,
of
but I mean, she
being reported.
You know what?
the
That's fair.
the,
Now that I'm
but here's
thinking
the thing:
about
the
it.
professor offered, like, office time. Like said, just
Yeah,
let me know a day
schedule an
ahead so
appointment.
I can,
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's really not that
So
hard to
yeah.
like email your professor and schedule a time.
Plus, if that is that professor like a research professor or is it a teaching professor? Considering some colleges have professors that don't only teach but also do research behind it. So it's possible that they are a research professor and don't have the time for that.
Yeah, that's why I said I wish I had more context on the story.
Yeah.
Because if it was like a cushy kind of degree and a cushy class, like whatever 100 level class, like, and it's a small class or something, then yeah, the professor's just being lazy. But like if they're teaching a lot of people and they're doing research behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and maybe it's more complicated, maybe it would be helpful to kind of schedule appointments and have foresight of what's going to go on in your day, than randomly have 100 people show up your office hours and no one gets done what they want. So
Yeah. But here's what also like makes my point more thorough in my opinion is that it said recently I waited until the end of the day to go see her. You know?
yeah,
Like why would you wait to the end of the day?
that's just lazy on the student's part.
Yeah. So and like I wouldn't want to if it's the end of the day, it's the end of the day for me. I mean, I don't think she's in the wrong for
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, just email me your question." I'll be glad to answer that after that, but to expect her to answer the question, don't even mind the fact that in like parentheses she said, "I expect it to be a maximum of 10 to 15-minute discussion." The professor doesn't know that. The professor like might have something to do when she gets home. Like, you know.
And because I'm no college professor, but like this job I have, like when I'm done, like when my hours are up, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Like when she's done for the day. She's not getting paid anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well,
We each want to do one more.
I mean, we can, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's look for good ones. Take the time if you want
yeah,
to look
that's
for
what I'm
good ones.
trying.
Yeah. I think I found my good one because there's some, like, you can kind of go either way with this one. Like, there's some actual, like, questions here. Am I good to go?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
All right. Am I the asshole for going to the birth of my granddaughter when my daughter's wedding was going on? I, 60-year-old female, have 3 children. John, who is 32, Macy, who is 28, and Ida, who is 25. Ida met the love of her life in college, Matthew. They got engaged about 5 months ago. Macy and her husband have been expecting for 4 months from the day Ida got engaged. When Macy when Macy and her husband's baby due dates came out, that's when Ida said she wanted that to be her wedding day. For context, we didn't actually think the baby was going to be born on that day, so Macy and her husband weren't too mad. When the day of the wedding comes, Macy's water breaks and is rushed to the hospital. By the time I got the call, I was already at the place of the wedding, just about to park. I speed off to the hospital, and I guess Ida saw me. She called me numerous times, but I didn't answer because I was too busy on the road. Macy was in labor for 15 hours, so by the time the baby was born, the wedding was long done. When I left the hospital to get some rest, I saw Ida in front of my car about to key it. I screamed, "What are you doing?" She starts screaming at me for missing her wedding. I push her away from the car and start driving away as fast as I can to my house. My side of the family and her husband's side of the family have been berating me for missing the wedding. Am I the asshole?
So, how are these two related?
They're all her children. Sorry, wait. What do you mean?
Like, how are they related? So the 60-year-old is the mother.
Yeah, the 60-year-old is the mother. Macy and Ida are her two daughters.
Okay.
So one of the daughters was having her wedding, and it just so happened that what happened was one of the daughters got their due date for when their child was supposed to be born. It just so happened that that was when the wedding was going to be. It just so happened while the mother was at the wedding, like was arriving at the location for the wedding, she gets a call from her other daughter that she is about to be in labor. So she left the wedding of daughter 1 to go to daughter 2's hospital bed.
Oh, that's
So
that's a hard question.
Is the mother the asshole for abandoning one daughter for the other?
That's
There's
an ethical problem.
things, because there's so many things here. One of the things that I saw was apparently the daughter who was giving birth was in labor for 15 hours. I'm not, as the mother, I can imagine you would want to be there for your daughter. But if she if it at any point became clear that the baby was not going to be delivered anytime soon, you could have gone back to the wedding.
Mm-hmm. But that's if that was to happen. We don't know for sure if that's what was going to happen. Like, you don't know a birth is going to take 15 hours.
You know what? That's fair. But I'll raise you this. She doesn't have to be there. It depends on the context of that phone call. If that phone call that the mother received from her daughter was, "I want you at my hospital bed," then that's different. But if she was just saying, "I'm in labor, so I can't make the wedding," like if it was just that, I'm not gonna lie, the grandma's gonna have to be the asshole in this situation. Sorry, the mother is gonna have to be the asshole in this situation.
Well, here's the thing.
Because
in the eyes of the daughters, the mother will always be the asshole in this situation. Because either way, say she chose the wedding over the birth, don't you think the daughter will still be angry that she didn't come to the birth of their first child? Like,
maybe.
This is a question where I don't think the mother's the asshole, but she is the asshole. It's one of those questions where it has there is no right or wrong answer, or there is no right answer, because like the decision is made off of a split second. Like, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? It's one of those things where even in your, like, say this was to happen to you, would you want to go to your daughter's wedding, or your other daughter's, like, first birth? You know, your grandchild's birth. What would you do in this situation?
See, that's tough because that's hard.
See, you're effectively picking the child you love most. It's one of those things where it's like the worst question that you could ever be asked is that one right there.
I think, like, I almost want to get on the daughter with the wedding for scheduling her marriage, like her wedding day, around the same time that.
I mean,
because
no. Well, here's the thing. What happened first? Did she, like you can never know surely when you're gonna have a baby. I don't know if it's really any of the daughter's faults either.
I'll go back and read it for you though. They got engaged about 5 months ago. Macy and her husband had been expecting for 4 months from the day Ida got engaged. When Macy and her husband's baby due dates came out, that's when Ida said she wanted that to be her wedding day. So it sounds like, because then it goes, the next sentence is, for context, we didn't actually think the baby was going to be born on that specific day. So Ida, the daughter who was having the wedding, it sounds like, to me at least, she had decided on the wedding date after she found out when her
Yeah.
sister was supposed to give birth. And if
True.
that's the case, I'm gonna have to say the mother is not the asshole for
Well,
prioritizing the birth of her grandchild.
what's the question? Is the question whether the mother is the asshole or the daughter?
No, because the person making it is the grandmother. So the grandmother is asking, "Am I the asshole for going to the birth of my granddaughter when my daughter's wedding was going on?"
Well, the answer would see that's the question that really doesn't have an answer. Now, if we were to ask which daughter is the asshole, I'd say
It
it's
would be
it's the one with the wedding. She
Yeah,
came
that
over and
would
tried to
be
key the car. That's the biggest dick move you can have.
yeah, yeah.
I can understand your
Oh,
frustration, but why would you try to key the car?
I could not tell you.
I mean, I'd be in any situation where I was in. Yes, I'd probably might be mad at my mother. But she also scheduled the wedding around the same time the due date was. So the daughter with the wedding is the asshole. Not the mother. The mother was put in a situation where there was no right answer. Just because in either way you were going to be looked at as the asshole. And
Because
that's the
that
problem I feel like parents have a lot of. It's like, what do I decide? Like, what happens? What do I do in this situation? It's one of those ones where you have to go with what your gut says or what you end up doing and just go with it.
this is about to make me be toxic. I'm gonna put in my group chat with my mom and my older brother. I'm gonna be like, "Hey mom, if you had to choose between going to my brother's wedding or the birth of my child, and they were on the same day, which one are you going to?" I'm gonna be toxic and type that, and I want to
No,
see how
no, that's an
people answer.
honest. Tell her we're doing it for, like, for the fireside chat. Tell her we're doing it for that. Like, answer. And if she doesn't have an answer, that's fine. Like, I think that's a good question to ask her. See what she says. If she says, "I don't know," that's a fine answer. Because what would you do in that situation? Because at
Yeah,
that
I'm
point,
gonna send them.
that's a tough question. I don't. That's a question that you should ask her just to see what she says. But in any situation, you can't be mad at her for deciding.
Oh yeah, I already hit send. I already
That's
sent
fine.
it.
Yeah.
Nice.
She about to be mad at me. That ooh, I knew that was a good one when
That
I read
was
that at first.
you've brought two good ones.
All right. Yeah, I could not. Oh, she responded quick. She said, "Absolutely not. I will not answer that." You know what?
Tell her that's fine, because you can't be mad. You can't be mad, because that is a loaded question. That is a question there is no right answers for.
I can't even blame her. 'Cause that was
Absolutely not.
Tell her you found that on like Reddit. Like that is
Yeah.
that is a hard question. There is no right.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's pretty fun.
All right. Anybody else have any other ones?
I have one here. Since we're doing engineering, I found an engineering sort of related one. Am I the asshole for bailing on helping my classmate with this project?
Yes.
Am I the asshole for bailing on helping my classmate with this project for a different class? I'm working on my master's in mechanical engineering. I'm taking a robotics class, and I am grouped with two students to work on a project and lab assignments over the course of the semester. They're nice people, however, they don't contribute at all. Literally, not at all. For one of many examples, we have a we've had a take-home exam where we are tasked to design a circuit that completes a certain task. The exam was intended to be a group effort. The exam was due at the end of the class, 1.5 weeks later. The instructor recommended we split sections of the assignment up among the group. One of us would design the circuit, me, and the other would write a summary of the software program which we would use to control the logic in the circuit, and the third would write a single paragraph sales pitch. The software section instruction was not to generate real code, it was intended to be a pseudocode and a description of which tasks we would want to loop and what functions we would need to create, etc. The sales pitch section was literally just a BS paragraph explaining why our design would be worth implementing. Anyways, I spent a long time, about a week, working on my section designing the circuit. I did a lot of research, talked to a lot of electrical engineers, had peer reviews, etc. My teammates literally did not start their sections of the assignment until the beginning of the class on the day it was due. They then had the audacity to ask me what to do for their sections. I'm worried about what my grade will be on that assignment. It is worth 10% of my final grade. This is not the end of it. I do all the lab assignments also. They have no clue what they're doing. When we don't finish the lab during our designated lab time, I take the lab home and do it over the weekend by myself. It infuriates me that I even turn in the labs with their names on it. This week, we have a lab tomorrow. We usually meet designated lab and class time specified by the course syllabus Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 3:30 p.m. They didn't even show up to class on Monday, and Wednesday they arrived and explained they went to Aspen Co., Colorado during the lab time. I did the lab by myself again. I've had enough. One of them asked me to review a design he's working on for another project for a different class. His plan was to interview me about his design. His feedback would be part of his report that is due for him tomorrow. I agreed to do the interview today at 10 p.m. I have ignored all his calls, and I feel bad for his other group members that are a part of the assignment. Am I the asshole?
Adam, did you write this post? Are you just... this man
No,
is
I
tapping?
wrote it, and
No,
this is back. This reminds me of, what was it, Physics 2 in the particle accelerator that I pretty much did the goddamn presentation for. You and fucking Philip, okay?
The fuck? I don't think I was... What? I'm pretty sure I was dying with
No,
knee surgery
you
at the
were
time.
you were in class. You were in class. You were in class.
Okay.
I know that
You all-
specifically because you kept Philip away from the fucking presentation.
We also had an assignment where the only thing you did for the presentation was make the Kahoot. So let's not...
That was Philip! That was Philip that made the Kahoot! You fucking asshole! I did everything!
I don't know if I... Okay, let's calm down now. Let's calm down now. No, I would say the dude is not,
And
not
then,
an asshole.
okay, I'm going back to
No,
this.
I don't think.
I even told Harper that you helped. And you did, so I don't really care. So that you did help.
Did.
And I'd always back you. So I did say you helped. Because you did. But didn't I say you just had to find pictures? I think that was what I told you to do.
I don't know, bro. I was there.
I know you were. I think I just told you to find pictures. Because I knew you had knee surgery and everything. I didn't really... I don't mind. Listen, I'd back you any day with stuff like that. I'm just saying.
You know, that was funny. I'm not mad about it.
I
But no, I would say the guy's not the asshole though.
No.
I completely understand not wanting to help him
Yeah.
after he won't help himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't think he's the asshole. Let's be honest.
No, not at all. Like, no, there's really not anything else we need to add. Just in general, that's just kind of like a dick thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I know what it's.
Elijah,
I
you
know
got
what I know what it's
something?
like to have to do everything. Anyway, moving on. I thought this one's kind of funny. I don't think it brings like the greatest question, but I thought it was kind of funny. Am I the asshole for laughing at my fiance when he got pink eye at the strippers?
I remember seeing this one, but I never read it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here it was. I was raised by a couple of sex-positive Gen Zers, or Gen Xers, sorry, who because I'm used to X being like said as Z, like Xenon. So I was like, yeah, Z. Who taught me to enjoy life as long as I wasn't hurting anyone. My fiance was raised by Mormons. Nothing wrong with Mormons. His family didn't cut him off when he left the church, but they are still distant from him. Fuck, I can't speak. They think I'm the devil. Okay, Bobby Boucher. So, one of his friends from work is getting married, and my boyfriend went to his bachelor's party in Montreal. I'm not against sex work, so long as it isn't exploitive. I told him to go have fun and gave him 100 in singles because I know Canadians use coins, and I have no idea what the stripper games are like there. So he came home with conjunctivitis, pink eye, from getting too close to the stripper's ass. I imagine, as soon as I saw him, I knew what happened and I laughed. I mean, who gets pink eye at 28? Once again, I trust my fiance. He loves me. I love him. I know he was just having fun with his friends, so I go up to hit. I got him the drops and made sure there were lots of clean towels and face cloths for him. I also put a plastic bag beside the dirty clothes hamper for anything that went near his eye to be separate so we can wash it in hot water. He is embarrassed and says I made him feel like an idiot for laughing at him. I feel bad, but I think it was funny. Am I the asshole?
No.
I don't know.
No.
Listen, this was
No.
one where there even like Reddit says no, not the asshole. Which I agree. She definitely isn't the asshole. I don't think anybody's the asshole. This is one of the things that I just thought was funny because he got conjunctivitis.
Like, if she'd have done it in public, like laughed at him in public, maybe there'd be some conversation. But even then, I'd still be like, it's kind of funny though. But
That's
no,
pretty
she
funny.
did it. She did it in private, like when no one else was around, at least from what it sounds like. And then took care of him afterwards. I don't feel bad at all for him. That's just hilarious. Although getting pink eye at the strip club is kind of wild.
Yeah, that sucks.
Crazy.
I've had pink eye before, multiple occasions. No, it sucks. It's not fun. It's not fun. Not that it's bad.
Pink
It's
eye.
just like you can't rub your eye.
No, I've had pink eye twice in my life, and one of them was at college, and it was terrible.
Dude, I had pink
Oh, but-
eye in both eyes once.
No.
It was awful.
I think I've had that too, actually.
Yeah.
Oh my.
All right, do you want to do one last one? Let's see if we can find a really good one. And let's do it based off of titles. Let's all find one that we think is really good, and then we'll say out the titles, and then we'll vote on that.
Okay.
Fair.
All right, now that all of us have found our titles, who wants to start with the title? We're just gonna read the titles off. We're not gonna give any details, just a title.
All right, I'll go first.
Go for it.
Am I the asshole for kicking her out when she stopped cooking?
Adam, do you want to go ahead? Adam, do you want to go next?
You me to go next?
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for yelling at a special after she had slingshotted her dirty underwear in my face?
That's the one I found. I found that exact one.
I thought so. I didn't know the title. Or whatever you said the,
Look,
were commenting
if you both found it, we have to do that one.
Okay, then that's it. All
Do
right.
you want me to read it or do you want to read it, Elijah?
I could read it.
Okay.
All right. That's I figured that's the one you found because I found it. It was the greatest thing ever.
Read the title again.
Okay, am I the asshole for yelling at a special ed girl after she had slingshotted her dirty underwear into my face? We probably shouldn't be laughing, but this is great. All right, I'm gonna try and say this without laughing through it.
That's why I said I didn't know if I could read this.
All right, let me get this straight to the point. I, 15. What, Noah?
I mean, I don't know why it was just the let me get straight to the point. It just
Let me get straight to the point. I, 15, had just walked into the locker room, and not even 10 seconds later, a girl with obvious disabilities slingshotted her underwear directly into my face. In a state of pure shock, I stood there for almost a minute trying to contemplate what had just happened, while this girl is hysterically laughing, butt-ass nude. I honestly don't know what went through my head, but I picked up the underwear, and as I'm picking it up from the raunchiest horrid smell travels into my nose. And once the panties became surface level with my eyes,
the underwear.
yeah, I could see a combination of wet and dried shit. I immediately dropped them into complete disgust, and that's when it had hit me that some chick had just chucked her turd-infested underwear into my face. I absolutely lose it and start yelling at her for asking why the fuck she did. Wait, hold on, I lost my space. Why the fuck she think it was okay to chuck her dirty underwear into my face? Everyone goes silent in absolute disbelief, and she starts crying and runs into the stall, still butt naked. That's when it kind of hit me. I had really messed up considering I just yelled at a special ed girl, and she most likely didn't understand that wasn't an appropriate thing to do. So immediately I tried to apologize through the stall, and she still continued to cry while everyone else was looking at me and whispering to each other. And I start to hear my gym teacher walk into the locker room. She's a female, FYI, and immediately walks up to the stall and asks what happened. I tell her as all the other girls walk out, still looking at me and whispering amongst themselves, except for my 3 best friends. Anyways, I had told my gym teacher what had happened. She told me to just get out because I did enough damage and shouldn't... Wait, hold on, I lost my spot again. She shouldn't just gotten her right after the incident. Needless to say, I definitely feel like the TA... Like that TA my friends told me, they would have reacted the same way and I shouldn't feel guilty. But I don't know, so am I the asshole?
I mean, if she's the asshole, then I'm the asshole too, because that would also be my gut reaction.
Yeah.
Look, if Austin had thrown his shit-covered underwear at me, I'd have beat a ginger on the spot. No hesitation. Look, if that girl is the asshole, then I'm Satan. No. Like, is what she said rude? Is what she said wrong and rude? Absolutely.
Listen.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Like, I agree with you. I'd react the same way.
Look, I can't judge. And for the teacher talking about you did enough damage, bruh, shut up. Because,
yeah.
Look, if
Bruh,
you
shut up.
like, if you don't say anything when someone does that to you, you either have no sense of smell, you can still see. You must have social anxiety, and that must be chronic social anxiety.
Oh my God.
I feel like I know niggas with anxiety that would not say nothing. Like, they would still say something. I'm not letting someone fling poop-covered underwear at me, bro. No. I will send them to Jehovah. I will eat you like the devil and then beg for forgiveness after. If anything, that's a fight. If someone flung dirty underwear at you, I feel like that should be free reign to smack them in the face. No question. I don't care if you have mental deficiencies. Wait, how old are these people?
They're like, it says she's 15.
Nah,
it's
that's
middle
grown
school.
enough. That's a fight.
It's beginning of high school.
I don't even care. That's a fight right on the spot.
The girl was laughing too, right? So like,
oh yeah,
you must have known that, like, especially.
I didn't even remember that part. Yeah, no, she'd die. I'd be killing somebody.
Oh my. Oh right, that was awesome. That was, I like your addition to it, Noah. Thanks.
Without hesitation. I wouldn't even feel bad. Because you know that teacher, she tried to apologize. She better than me for real. I would not be apologizing.
No,
I,
I'd have walked out,
yeah,
pound
the
on the
teacher wouldn't have.
stall for a couple minutes, then leave.
The teacher wouldn't have had to tell me to leave. And look, our school, shoot, if you breathed on the doors the wrong way, the stalls would open for real. So you wouldn't have had to try that hard to actually get in
Yeah.
there. But
It was more
no,
for the intimidation factor, you know.
I
Just-
suppose. But no, I would have to. I would have left before the teacher would have even been able to
Yeah,
tell me. to leave.
I would have been getting some like iodine and hot water on that shit.
I'd be on the phone. I'd be on the phone with my mom because I know the
The
school
hospital, because I'd be
already
getting
didn't like
sepsis.
that too. Like the school already don't like me. They already gonna try and get me in trouble. I'm gonna call my mom and be like, "Look, I put my hands on the retard. Like you gonna have to, you gonna have to help me out."
I just put my hands on the retard.
Like home, like, Jit threw
Oh my god.
undies at me. He had to die. He had to die.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, that was it for Am I the Asshole stories. That last one, I think, takes the cake for
Yeah.
the fact that we laughed the hardest at it, but it had to do with what Noah said. But yeah. Alright, well, I think we're going to end this here. Thank you, dudes, for watching this. I appreciate it. If you liked this video, let us know in the comments down below. I'd like to thank Noah and Adam. Thank you guys both for being here. This was a great episode. And
This was fun.
yeah, we'll see you next time. So, see you guys then. Bye-bye.
See ya. Beat the fuck out of retards, bro. Beat the fuck out of retards.
Oh my